Welcome to 15 minutes of consulting best practices. My name is Maria Isabel Rios, and I'm joined by David Fields. Hello, David.
Hi, Maria Isabel. It's good to see you. Happy Monday.
Good to see you too. Happy Monday. And we're here today to answer your questions. Happy Monday, Michael, on how to create success and traction for your consulting practice. So send us your questions, right? The space is for you. We want to be able to create and add value, and every comment in the discussion also adds value to the conversation. So if you're here and you're listening, be active, right? Share, participate, and share your thoughts and share your experiences and your follow-on questions. And having said that, because we are here for 15 minutes every week, let's jump into the first question that came in throughout the week. All right, so this question is for you, David. And hello, Susanna. Hello, Michael. And hello, John. So question is, your suggestion to walk the halls on client sites resonates, and I've done that, not enough, in the past. Any tips for how to do these days when much of my engagement time is remote? For example, on my recent client, I had a day on site every couple of months, and most of the work is virtual, making it hard to create spontaneous connection both with the clients I'm working with, as well as get introduced to others. This question is from Yuval. Thank you, Yuval. What do you think, David?
So this one I've seen before because you all asked me via LinkedIn. So thank you, Jaren, for bringing it from LinkedIn over to here. And so I'll just tell you what I replied on LinkedIn, because this is a fair point. Walking the halls is much more difficult now than it used to be. Spontaneous walking the halls, which we used to do all the time easily, doesn't exist now the way it used to. Therefore, you have to plan it, and you plan it in a couple of ways. You can plan it by involving a lot of people from your client's organization in your meetings, in your work sessions, in your report outs. And we've always recommended that anyway. It's just become even more important because that's your way to meet many other people, and then you follow up with them. So you're going to create a little bit of artificial walking the halls through your work sessions, through your meetings, and through follow-up. That's what I'd written on LinkedIn, and I think that applies. Maria Isabel, what do you think, and what would you add?
One other suggestion, and you're right, you're absolutely on point. This also requires planning and forethought, is normally, if you go on site, say for a day, for a work session, most of us will tend to schedule our on-site time to arrive, meet with our client, do whatever it is we need to do, our workshop, our training sessions, our meetings, and then leave. And I would encourage you to start thinking about, can you build in some buffer times during those days? Can you preemptively ask people to introduce you so that you could prompt folks at your client sites, will you be there on these dates or on those dates? Because I'm actually going to be at your offices during those dates, and I would love to meet you in person. So you are kind of having a pre-touch point so that you can do the equivalent, but leave yourself a little bit more buffer time to make use of that physical in the office time when you're in there. And as David said, expand your relationship map to the highest extent you possibly can with all the people you meet in your client's organization who are relevant to the type of work you do and who you want to continue building relationships with. That's the thought. Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Suzanne asked a question here. Do you want to go for Suzanne's question?
Sure. I haven't loaded one, so we can tag team.
State of consulting for January 2026, and Happy New Year since we didn't see you last week.
Exactly. Happy New Year. So state of consulting for 2026. We've seen a lot of traction in terms of projects starting, getting through a closing line, conversations that were in motion, right? Becoming a conversation about a specific opportunity in these first few weeks. Now, is it that the momentum of closing the year and starting the year with new plans? For sure. Absolutely. I think, at least from everybody that I've spoken with, has more opportunities in January 2026, certainly that they did in January 2025, for sure, and more opportunities in January 2026 than they did even 6 months ago. So I think things are looking that there's movement and people are ready to make decisions. I'll be at a slower pace than we all would want, but that's my thought. David, where are you on that?
Similar. January 2026 actually feels a lot like January 2025 did.
For you, yeah, on what you hear?
Which is there's projects being signed, coffers are being opened, there's the work that had been put off is now being put into motion. And then what happened in February 2025 was there was such a shock of market uncertainty that a lot of things closed down. And I think the pressure that had been building up at the end of 2024, if you can remember that far back, to going into the beginning of 2025, where executives had already been sitting on their hands for a year because of uncertainty. And so they were ready to move. They've now sat for another year on being uncertain. And that uncertainty, I think, is baked in now. There's an expectation or an understanding that this is how the world is right now. And we have to do something about it. So there is business coming back. We've seen it, our clients. We've even seen strategy projects coming back, sizable strategy projects. Not to the full degree they were a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, but it's coming back. The execution projects are still, as always, where there's more money. Supply chain is doing really well right now. The AI implementation is doing really well right now. And innovation is still not doing well. And then it goes sector by sector. But we are seeing more activity in our clients. I am on mine, Marie-Isabelle, and the clients where you're the lead. I think you're also seeing more.
Yes, more and at higher fees than before. So I would say very cautiously optimistic.
Suzanne, tariffs shook everybody, and call it just sort of uncertainty and change in the global economic environment and how the geopolitical environment, it made everybody take pause. So there's unquestionably, that was an effect. That combined with AI. AI is no longer new. It's still transforming. And tariffs and the geopolitical chaos isn't as new. Wars could change that. So we'll see what happens.
Right. Pearl has a question. So, Hi, Pearl. And your question is related to the book. How do you turn a warm intro into a prospect? i.e., and then that's about all I can read. So if you were pasting something, it didn't come through from me. But how do you turn a warm intro into a prospect, David?
It's an interesting question. Part of it, my question back to you, Pearl, is what do you consider a prospect? And do you only consider them a prospect when they have an identified opportunity so you can move into context discussion? Or is it a prospect that for you equivalent to a contact? You can't turn a warm introduction into an active pursuit where you do a context discussion unless that person has a stated problem or aspiration where they want help. Remember, consulting is not sold, consulting is bought. And we don't force our work on folks because they don't have the problem to solve. They don't need us. However, if you have a warm introduction and you are interested in them and you pay attention and they bring up a problem, then depending on how you've built that initial conversation, you use the turn and say, oh, it's interesting you mentioned that. We're actually quite good at that. What do you think? Would it be worth having a separate conversation about that topic at some point? That's what the turn is built for. Are you open to a separate conversation? And that's how you move from introduction, social, getting to know you, to specific pursuit of an opportunity. Marie-Isabelle, anything else? Did I capture that wrong or Or what do you think?
No, you captured it perfectly. And I think Pearl gave us additional color with her comment. Let me intro you to a friend within your ICP target. So perfect. Your introduction, it's always going to be better if it's really warm with a referral, right? So somebody who can not only say meet and be happy together, but who can also say, I know Pearl really well. I know her work. She has created tremendous value for us. I think you should meet her. That carries a lot more weight and will increase the chances of this contact, right? Now wanting to have a warm relationship and getting to know you and responding positively to the introduction. So keep that in mind as well, right? As you are thinking about introduction. So purpose of your conversations is to maintain your relationship warm, as David was saying, so that in the conversation, opportunities can surface. At that point, you make the turn.
There you go. All right. We've got Suzanne asking more existential questions.
Which is great.
Yeah,
okay.
So I think let's want to tackle Suzanne's. We'll just do them in order. And then Colette, we may
right. And
next,
Colette,
next
hello, Colette, also.
How can consultants leverage AI better? And where's the AI puck headed for consultants? We don't need to hold for next week. We'll give you 3 minutes of answer. And
okay, go ahead.
And then the rest you can ask AI. Do you want to give your take? Or you want me to give my take?
No, you go for it. And then I just want to say before you get started, Colette and Michael, we will address your questions next week if we're giving a 3-minute answer to Suzanne.
Yeah, we'll jump on those first next week.
Exactly.
Where's the AI puck headed? So I'll repeat what you've heard elsewhere, which is right now, I don't think AI will differentiate you, make you money, though we have a couple of really interesting examples of clients that are using AI in pretty mind-boggling ways. For the typical consulting firm, it's not going to make you money yet. However, if you are not incorporating it, it will lose you money. I mean, you cannot be left behind in this. You do need to bring it in and make sure you are using it to enable your firm. At a minimum, just productivity, to take your processes and streamline them. Ideally, and this is where we've only seen a couple of good examples, you find ways to use AI to create new value for clients. That's where we're headed, but we're a ways from there yet. I think that we're probably a year from it being standard that everybody has offerings that would not be possible were it not for AI. Right now, we have offerings that are possible, but they're a little faster or perhaps a little better or more interactive because of AI. And just putting all your knowledge in a bot and saying, look, now you can access me. There's one example out there where it seems to have been somewhat successful, but generally that's not what clients are looking for.
Right.
And so I think a lot of people were thinking it's heading that direction, and it's not. We're in formative years. And what I can tell you is what it looks like over the next 2 years. 5 years from now, we're going to look back and go, wow, can you believe we were doing that? But we need to go through this now to get to there. And you have to, as a firm leader, be involved in it. We have an AI person on staff now, and to make sure we're staying in front of this. I don't know if that answers your question. Marie-Isabel, do you have any more pointed thoughts on that?
I think it's without a doubt, use AI to gain efficiency, use AI to gain speed and depth of accuracy, where AI can reach into solution pockets that a human being will spend hours digging into, provided you can verify that what it's telling you it's actually accurate and makes sense within your expertise. And that's why your expertise is very important, an important part of the equation. So using it, AI, not optional. How much it drives our business and transforms it, I think that's everything that David said and beyond.
Yeah. And it's every conversation. I was on the phone with the CEO, someone we work with that's about a $35 million firm right now. And we were having the same conversation about how to use it and where exactly to apply it. Todd, we're going to answer your question next week. The answer is going to depend on what your income was prior. So send an email to us and let us know if you were doing 2 million, that was your income prior, it's going to take you longer to get there than if your income was $20,000 a year. So, okay. So
Right.
that's a little bit of a sense, and then we can tell you. And with that, oh my gosh, we've managed to blow through our 15 minutes here.
Okay.
One announcement that's different this week versus other weeks, the 2026 Consulting Firm Index is now open for participants. So if your consulting practice is over $1 million, you are eligible to join this benchmarking survey, which is specifically for small consulting firms. Just send me an email and we'll give you more information about that. That said, make sure you do come every Monday. Jaren, there we go, Monday Live on your calendar. Every Monday, put it in for 10 minutes after the hour, and that way you're here with us. And if you're not connected to me or to Maria Isabel, please connect. Thank you, Jaren. Look, there's us, because we want to be connected with you. And if you don't get my articles every week, subscribe. There you go. Thanks, Jaren. Subscribe. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a fabulous week. Remember, consulting's about them. It's about your clients and prospects. So give them value and give them kindness. And we will see you next week. Take care, all.
Bye. Thank you.